Today on Fast Food Face Off, I'm having myself a Panera Pizza party. Let's crush some calories.
Fast food, face off! Fast food, face off! Fast food, face off!
What is up, Tasty Vibe Tribe? Today, we're going to be doing all 5 flavors of Panera's new flatbread pizza. We have their Margarita, 4 cheese, Chipotle Chicken and Bacon, their plain cheese, and then of course pepperoni. I can't wait. Let's get into it. First up, we have the traditional OG just plain cheese flatbread pizza from Panera because, you know, it's a classic and it should go first. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a team corner slice squad, so I tend to go with the corner slices first, and I'll let you guys get a closer look. Let's see how it tastes. So right away, you definitely get that this is a flatbread pizza and not a traditional slice of pizza because the crust itself and the chew is a lot different. I would say that it's somewhere in between like a New York slice and then maybe like a French bread pizza, like something like Stouffer's. It's not thick, so it's flat, obviously. And then the chew is probably closer to bread than it is to pizza. But there is a little bit of like a crisp exterior on the end, which is nice because it adds a little bit more texture than just kind of just the chewiness. The cheese blend that they put on top of this is also very nice. It's tangy as far as the sauce, it's punched up as far as the salt flavor is concerned from the cheese. You're not missing any of the core elements of a cheese pizza. There's not a ton of color on the bottom of this. It's almost reminiscent of like frozen pizza, how no matter how good a frozen pizza is, it just doesn't ever seem to kind of get that color and that texture that a slice shop pizza gets. Welcome back, fast food fanatics. I'm going to be hitting you guys up with some fun Panera facts and some pizza history along the way, so make sure to stay tuned. I don't know if you guys can see how thin this is, but it's pretty thin, and you're still able to surprisingly get like a good chew to it because of the nature of it being like a flatbread. If you were to have a slice of pizza, like normal pizza that's this thin, it would very much have a crispy exterior, almost to the point of having like a snap to it. So this is like a nice counterbalance to that. This pizza crust was actually really reminiscent of Elio's pizza, if you guys remember from like the 90s era, and it was a bit chewier than that if I remember correctly. I'm gonna finish up these last 2 slices and then we're gonna move on to pepperoni. Next up, another classic, pepperoni. Now, I know that it looks like there's only just the one lone pepperoni kind of over here, but what they did was they put the pepperoni on first and then covered it with cheese. That's a way of doing it, that's a style. It's almost kind of reminiscent of like L&B or Spumoni Gardens in New York, if you guys are familiar with that style of pizza. I don't know if that's necessarily what they were going for, because in pictures that I've seen, it looked like the pepperoni was on top, but at my particular Panera, this is just how they set it up. Enough of that, let's just see how it tastes. First bite. The flavor on the pepperonis is real nice, and so is the texture. Obviously the flavor is important, but so is the texture, and you definitely get like a slightly crispier texture with their pepperoni, and it's a really good first bite. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe and make sure to turn those notifications on so that you can stay up to date with what we have going on for Fast Food Face Off. If you enjoy this video, make sure to smash that like button. And also, let's share this baby around so that we can stay growing that tasty vibe tribe. I'm gonna let you guys get like a side angle view. They murdered this thing with cheese. Like it's like an equal layer of cheese to crust.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
I'm not mad at it. It's just one of those things where I'm thinking that maybe they kind of put the cheese down and then pepperoni and then maybe threw extra cheese on top. I don't know, but it is really tasty. If you're an international viewer, I don't even know if like pizza's a thing that they put on like school menus, but where I was from, they would have like almost like Elio style square slices, and I knew some kids that lived in nicer school districts that got like Domino's or Pizza Hut, but it was very reminiscent of this, where it was almost like slightly congealed cheese on top. Something about pizza where it almost tastes better at room temperature sometimes than it does when it's like piping hot. It's kind of like the idea of why people like cold pizza. But yeah, this is definitely giving me like school pizza vibes in like a good way.
I don't know about you guys, but I always look forward to Pizza Fridays when I was a kid. Something about an overcooked, slightly congealed slice of cheese pizza paired with chocolate milk, brings back memories.
The only thing that I would say that's a little slightly disappointing about this, I wish there was more pepperonis, like extra pepperoni, which I think that you can do at Panera. I know that you can customize like these pizzas, so I'm almost certain you could probably do extra cheese and probably extra pepperoni. And if that's the case, I would definitely go that route. And then just in general, I think for these pizzas, go into them knowing that they are going to be a bit more on the chewier side than the crispier side. So if you're a crispy pizza fan, maybe in the special instructions, ask them to toast it just a bit longer. Pro tip.
Did you know Panera wasn't always Panera? In the 80s, the company's founder Ron Shake merged his cookie store with a Boston bakery and created Au Bon Pain. But after acquiring St. Louis Bread Company in 1993 and shifting their focus to fast casual dining, Au Bon Pain was sold and Panera was born.
Next up is their 4 cheese pizza. I'm not 100% positive what those 4 cheeses are. I'm sure I will be able to tell you after I'm done with my first bite. Let you guys get a closer look. See what it tastes like. According to Mrs. Fast Food Face Off, it is mozzarella, parmesan, fontina, and then feta. You can see like the little speckles of feta in there. The flavor balance that the fontina adds, and I would say even more so the feta, is just a little bit more of like a kind of briny saltiness. Anyway, 4 cheese pizza, nice well-balanced blend. It's real tasty. I don't know that I would have went with fontina and feta, but I do understand why they went that direction. Another thing to note, this is actually supposed to have like a garlic flavored cream sauce. I'd imagine something similar to Alfredo. It's not supposed to be a red sauce. Not that I'm mad at that. I think that a lot of people that are cheese pizza lovers like the blend of red sauce and then cheese. Just, there's obviously consistency issues, at least at my particular Panera. Not that you might, experience that. Your guys' mileage may vary, but just be aware of when you get some of these things that it may not look exactly like how I have it, and I may be giving, unfair reviews of certain products because of the way that it was presented to me. Still super tasty though. If you guys aren't already, make sure to head over to our Instagram and give us a follow and a like over there. We do some real fun stuff, some exclusive content. We do giveaways on our Instagram, and you would just be absolutely missing out if you weren't following us. I'm just gonna stay trucking along and finishing this pizza.
After being named the healthiest fast food restaurant in the country in 2009 by Health Magazine, Panera lived up to that title by announcing it would start including the calorie information of all its menu items in stores in 2010.
Honestly, as I work my way through this, I'm a little bit less of a fan of the feta. Not that I dislike feta, I just think that this pizza as a whole is a little salty. Your mileage may vary, but it just tends to kind of be a little bit of a sodium bomb for me. So I got about another 2 slices left. I'm gonna finish this up, and then we're gonna try to move on to the Chipotle Chicken and Bacon. It's my little pizza dance.
It's no surprise to anyone how much Panera loves their bread, but so does its customers. Each year, Panera sells approximately 150 million loaves of bread and 240 million bagels. It takes 140 million pounds of flour to make all that dough each year. I guess you can say they're really raking in the dough.
So this is the Chipotle Chicken Bacon Flatbread Pizza. It smells good. You can kind of get like that Chipotle vibe as soon as you get like the pizza open. You smell like the spices on it, and there's almost like a little bit of like sweetness kind of coming off the pizza. I don't know if that's the Chipotle sauce. Either way, smells delicious. Let's see how it tastes. That's pretty nice. You get like the smoked flavor, obviously, from the Chipotle itself, a little bit of balance of sweet, and then the chicken itself is just kind of like a nice rounded flavor, you know, to add with this. And then you get a little bit of that unctuousness from the bacon itself, a little bit of that kind of fatty punch from the bacon. This is pretty well balanced. And I think that they went with a white sauce as opposed to a red, which makes sense because I feel like the tang from the tomato might have stole from the rest of the flavor profile. So took a minute to reheat this. It was starting to get a little too cold for me. Let's just get right back into it. Definitely a good call on the reheat. Sometimes, I mean, it's like the behind the scenes stuff for you guys. When I have like a bunch of stuff like this, sometimes I do have to reheat it just because it's not fair that I had something that was warm and fresh and then something cold towards the end of it. So again, as far as like consistency is concerned, it looked like whoever made this literally just put all of the shredded chicken in the center and kind of missed the outer rim of the pizza. I imagine that if you get it, it's not going to be like that. I'm just letting you guys know that I kind of have to judge that because some of these slices kind of don't have any chicken on them, but the center slices obviously have all the chicken. With something like chicken and Chipotle and bacon, this was a little bit outside of the box, and it got me thinking that even though, you know, for somebody like me, this isn't really like too crazy, there are some people that, you know, this might be too much for them. So I was wondering what it is that you guys normally top your pizza slices with. You know, are you team just plain cheese, pepperoni? I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I really enjoy Hawaiian pizza. I like the idea of like ham and pineapple. You know, what's some ingredients that you like your pizzas topped with? Let me know down in the comment section. For me, and I think for a lot of people, when you say Chipotle, not only do you want smoke, which is known more for Chipotle style seasoning, but you also want a little bit of heat. And I feel like this is just lacking in the heat department. If they would have put some sort of Chipotle sauce in with the white sauce that they have as the base, that would have been nice too. Would have punched up some of that heat factor. Last but certainly not least is the Margarita Pizza. Now, just aesthetically looking at this, I can already tell that there again was inconsistency issues with the Panera that I got this from, because traditionally a Margarita Pizza is essentially a traditional cheese pizza, but the toppings are fresh basil and it's usually sliced tomato. It's supposed to be kind of reminiscent of the Italian flag, right? The green, white, the red. And with this, I can see that they put, you know, the tomato on there, but barring there being fresh basil tucked underneath the cheese by accident, they missed a key ingredient in this pizza. It's what sets a Margarita Pizza above just a regular cheese pizza. I mean, I'm gonna try it and see how I like it, but I have a feeling that that's going to be a sorely missed ingredient. Let's see how it tastes. You get punch of fresh flavor from the real tomato. Fresh tomato and then cooked down tomato have very, very different taste profiles. You get a little bit more of the sweetness, I think, when you cook down tomatoes, and when you have some of the fresh tomatoes on top of there, it kind of pairs well between the balance of sweet and savory, and then that kind of herbaceousness that you would get from a garden fresh tomato. Enough of that. I'm gonna try to get through this and then we'll get to the final review.
Whether frozen or delivered, pizza is a food loved the world over. And why not? It's a food rich in history. From 3,000-year-old artifacts found in Sicily to the ruins of Pompeii, even dating as far back as the Persian Empire, where it's believed King Darius the Great witnessed soldiers baking flattened bread on their shields covered in cheese.
We had all of the flavors of pizza from Panera's new flatbread pizza lineup. Now here's the breakdown. In my opinion, the best of the 5 here is the pepperoni pizza. The pepperoni slices were good, the flavor on them was good, the texture on them was good, the amount of cheese to crust ratio was pleasant. The only critique that I would have of it is that I wish that there was a little bit more of those pepperonis and that they were on top of the pizza. I think my second favorite of the bunch would probably be their Margarita Pizza. I think that pizza was, even the fact that mine didn't have the basil it was supposed to have on it, was still very tasty. I enjoyed the Chipotle chicken and the cheese pizzas that they had. I think that they could have made the Chipotle chicken better by kind of spicing that pizza up a little bit more, maybe adding some red onion or punching up that Chipotle flavor in the cream sauce. My least favorite, surprisingly, is the 4 cheese blend that they have. It was just a sodium bomb. Your guys' mileage may vary on that depending on how much salt and cheese you like, but I think that they had a missed opportunity in the blend that they used. When they went the Fontina and feta route, I think that it just punched up the sodium level a bit too much. I would have probably preferred something like a provolone and maybe like a white cheddar to balance things out. We're gonna have the rundown here for you guys as far as the calories and cost are concerned. The cost was pretty negligible. The pizzas came in just under $9. I think the only one that didn't was the plain cheese pizza. It was just under $8. And then the calories were pretty negligible too. All of these pizzas, even though they may have not been my favorite, are worth going out and trying at Panera. I think that you guys will definitely enjoy these for like a quick lunch option. You can have one of these with like a salad and split it with somebody and feel like you're not completely ruining your day's worth of calories. That about wraps it up for us here at Fast Food Face Off. And remember, if you are what you eat, always eat amazing.